Am I the asshole? For having my SIL and her 2 kids escorted away by security because she refused to RSVP. Last week was our daughter's 16th birthday. We decided to go all out on her party for a variety of reasons. This would include a private tour of a place she's wanted to go to, and we rented out a room to have a catered dinner. This should all have been just a smooth ride, right? Enter my SIL. My wife and her sister do not get along. They can keep up a causal relationship for the sake of family, but that's it. It doesn't help that my experiences with my SIL have been incredibly dramatic. She's quick to play the victim and gaslight. SIL has 2 daughters who are practically best friends with my daughter. So obviously she wanted to invite them. One big issue with SIL and her family is that when it comes to coordinating anything with them, they are unreliable on a good day and like trying to communicate with a blind deaf person who does not speak the same language as you on a bad one. They are never on time, sometimes hours or in one case a day late, and will not communicate at all if they are planning to show up. The thing I hate the most is that she will just text you randomly after an event started saying they decided not to come, or show up when they said they can't make it. Because my wife does not get along with her, I told her I would handle it. I sent 2 emails and 3 texts and had a 20-minute phone call with SIL months ago telling her what we were doing for my daughter's birthday. Because of what we were planning, we needed to buy tickets for everyone and tell the caterers how many they were serving. I needed an RSVP as soon as humanly possible to organize this stuff. She either needed to be on time or tell me she could not make it. I told her if she ghosts me, there will be no tickets for her and her kids. She ghosted me. I didn't buy her and her kids tickets. SIL and her kids showed up on time somehow for the event. My wife was livid, so I handled the situation on my own and told my SIL and her kids they need to leave because we did not get tickets for her. If she wanted to join us for the tour, it would cost quite a bit to get new tickets, and the caterers do not allow alterations after a certain amount of time out from the event. At first, she tried to say she did RSVP with me, and then eventually started to shame me. Our guide called security, and in the end, she and her daughters were escorted away. The event was great, but my SIL's entire family has blown up at me and my wife. The event was 2 hours away from SIL's home, and they say it was heartless of me to turn her away after the trip. Along with this, her daughters have now stopped talking to my daughter, telling her that I kicked them out of her party. I explained to my daughter the situation, and she called me a dick. My wife has told me to ignore her family, and that daughter will realize we're not in the wrong. Not the asshole. You sent out emails, texts, and had a discussion over the phone about the RSVP. SIL is the AH, and so is the rest of the family that are her side. Not the asshole. Her daughters are going to end up just like her, acting entitled their whole entire lives. Your daughter may be upset with you right now, but one day she will realize why you did what you did. Not the asshole. Actions have consequences. You gave her every chance not to fuck it up. And she fucked it up. That's on her. Not the asshole. You gave her more than enough chances. The one point I would say YTA on is not explaining to your daughter ahead of time that if her aunt didn't RSVP, her cousins wouldn't have a place at the party, and why. Once doing so, it would be reasonable to only take that RSVP from SIL herself, and not because daughter said cousin said SIL said they would be there. Your teenage daughter didn't text with her almost best friend cousins during the entire time the party was planned, or the day of. Doesn't make sense. Not the asshole. You needed to confirm numbers for the tour and the catering. You've tried and tried to get confirmation and got ghosted. There was only so much you can do to include them. The guide called security, not you. Your daughter is currently hurt from losing her best friends. Probably you and your wife can try explaining things to her again later when everything has calmed down. Show her proof of the conversation if required. Not the asshole. If it was a regular party, then that's different, but you clearly explained to her you needed to know so that you could plan and spend accordingly. I don't know who in their right mind would read that, ghost you, and then show up on the day of. I'd be pissed and I'd do the same. Not the asshole. Your wife is right, ignore her family. Entitled people are a pain and not worth the energy. Good for you for saying no. Your guide called security, LOL must have been quite the show. Why would you have bought her last-minute expensive tickets? Not the asshole. Your SIL deserved it. Incredibly poor behavior. If anything, she owes you and your daughter an apology for causing a ridiculous bout of drama. I'm sorry your 16-year-old daughter called you a dick. Never in my black household, skull. Not the asshole. She was trying to weaponize her willful incompetence. Not the asshole for turning SIL away when she had an RSVP. But where's the rest of the story? Your daughter is turning 16. Does she not have email, a phone, Facebook Messenger, any other social media with messaging so that she can contact her cousins who she's apparently so close to? I came from a dysfunctional family, and yet back in the early 2000s my cousins and I still stayed in touch by MSN when our parents were NC. How hard could it have been for your daughter to contact her cousins and ask them if they are coming or not? Info. SIL has 2 daughters who are practically best friends with my daughter. Did the daughters never communicate with your daughter that they were coming? For example, we're super excited for your party. Or something like that? I find it hard to believe that no one knew they would be coming, so you probably should have accounted for your daughter's best friends on her birthday, but SIL is a different case. You could have gotten your point across by having tickets and accounting for the girls who you have now punished, along with your daughter, for SIL's actions, but not SIL. X200B. OP, next time enlist your daughter who's 16 to make sure her cousins are attending instead of you or your wife. At 16 she can make sure all her friends are actually coming to the party. Not the asshole. SIL did this on purpose to cause a scene and try to ruin the party. SIL probably lives for the attention she gets being late and causing everyone to change their plans. You point blank told her there would be no tickets if she didn't respond to you, and she didn't respond. Then she drove 2 hours knowing there were no tickets without even checking in with you at all. SIL is a major asshole. Info. How much time did you give her to reply? When she says she did try to RSVP, is she straight up lying, or is there a chance there was an attempt that got thwarted by a technical glitch? If your daughter is so close with her cousins, did she not tell them they need to have their mom RSVP or else they won't be able to come? Not the asshole or ETA, but could have tried to mitigate. Getting costly tickets last minute could have been arranged, the catering change could not. When did security need to be called? Because SIL yelled or refused to leave, or because you two were having a heated conversation? The "if you ghost me" was expecting her to fail, which she did. Maybe next time invite kids, only have them stay the night so you know they are there on time. Damage control now. Info. Did anyone talk to the daughters at some point? If you hadn't gotten an answer from your SIL and the cousins are around 16, someone should have contacted them to let them know they weren't going to be let in if they didn't RSVP. They were the guests your daughter wanted at the party after all. If you told everyone you would handle it and only attempted to contact SIL about it, you did a great job making a point, but a shitty job attempting to get the people your daughter wanted to celebrate with there. Your SIL set you up. She showed up on time for once specifically because she knew you wouldn't have tickets. Now she can punish you over it, and she is successful. Tell your daughter exactly what happened and make it clear that you do not appreciate being called names after the effort you went through for her party. If she wants to still blame you, next time she can deal with them. Not the asshole. Daughter needs consequences. Not the asshole. SIL's daughters are likely aware of their mother's behavior and are probably happy she finally got treated appropriately. Not the asshole. Show your daughter everything, tell her the truth of their lack of communication, cite previous events. Tell her you are sorry they didn't get to go, but it would have cost X $100 to buy them tickets without even knowing if they would